Hello, what's up? My camera's pointing the wrong way. What's up, fellas? Wednesday evening, and you all know what's up. I'm not asking you what's up, I'm telling you what's up. That's what we're doing here. Hang on. My volume is probably a little bit low, but it should be fixed now. Man, we have some things to talk about today, huh? If you follow me on Twitter, you already know what I'm referring to, but Perfect Dark cancellation. Damn. That is such a bummer. If you guys don't know, I have done videos on Perfect Dark. I did a video on the original Perfect Dark and on Perfect Dark Zero. And in the full series compilation I did, there was an extra 20 or 30 minutes in there where I talked about the comic books and the novels that were in the Perfect Dark universe. And I really liked Perfect Dark. I particularly liked Zero and the comics and the books, I really liked the original too, but I was actually really looking forward to the new Perfect Dark. And it's canned, which is crazy. Like, that game was announced in 2021, I want to say? Let me look that up. When was that game announced? When was the trailer announcement? 4 years ago. They canceled it 4 years after its announcement with 1.2 million views on the official trailer. That's crazy. It was going to be shit. Joanna looked like a man. Yeah, I didn't like the design of her character, but did you see literally anything else other than that at the very end? Did you see any of the immersive sim gameplay or the gunplay? All of that looked great, you know? I'm not one of those people where one dispute of one design aspect means the entire game sucks, the gameplay is bad, the soundtrack is bad. All of it is bad because I don't like the character design. I'm not one of those people. If the game is good, the game is good. And it's very likely they probably would have retconned out that jawline gate thing. But I don't know. I thought the game looked good. And everything I saw in the gameplay looked really interesting. I don't know, man. We haven't had a good immersive sim. A good AAA. Of course, that game was supposed to be quadruple A. But we haven't had a good quadruple A, AAA style immersive sim maybe since Prey 2017. I can't get immersive. The main character looks like garbage. Well, it's first person, so you're never going to see her except in cutscenes. And she didn't look that bad in the other scenes. It's just that shot of her like looking out, really like they bulged out her jawline for some strange reason. But in the other shots she was in, it didn't look so bad. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. It was really not great. But they caught hell for that. I imagine that was probably fixed not long after, but I don't actually know for sure. But man, it's really just a shame because now we don't. I think that was the only high budget immersive sim in development, in active development, and now it's gone. Let me look that up. Let me see if there's any other immersive sims currently being developed. And even the Perfect Dark game wasn't going to be an immersive sim, but it was going to try to kind of like meet some of those qualities. Deep State is an immersive, it's indie. I've been following it for a while though. Some people think Blade might be an MSim. Man, okay, I'm seeing that Judas game by Ken Levine might be that. But I didn't think BioShock was really an immersive sim. It was really just a shooter. Kingdom Come Deliverance is an RPG. It doesn't really count. System Shock 2 Remaster got released. It's good if you haven't played it. I've played a little bit of System Shock 2, but it's been a while. I need to go back and replay it. The ultimate immersive sim is what I've heard. How much is that on Steam right now? I'm probably not gonna play it anytime soon because I have other stuff going on. Another $20 billion to Bill Gates. Another $40 billion. Maybe if we give Bill Gates another $73 billion, we'll get another immersive sim. How How much money, Bill? How much money would it take to give us an immersive sim? Give Warren Spector the Deus Ex IP and let him work his magic again. Let me take a look at System Shock 2. I really liked the System Shock remake. And which is on sale right now. So, okay, so yeah, here it is. The System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster. Okay, so it's a full-on $30, which I don't think that's unreasonable. That's an enormous game, and it looks great. It's too bad it wasn't a full-on remake, but that original remake took them for fucking ever, so I don't really blame them for not wanting to do that. Looking forward to Judas at all. Ken Levine made it clear Bioshock Infinite he hates Christ. I'm not going to buy it. I didn't play Bioshock Infinite, so I didn't know that. Damn, that's unfortunate. Maybe he learned his lesson, but I doubt it. I mean, the game is called Judas, so it's probably... That might be a Naughty Dog situation where the writer is just hyper-focused on hating one single religion. All the other religions, those are fine, but this one! I don't know what that is. I don't know what the hell is going on with some of these writers. They probably just grew up around people who went to church, and those people were just, like, mean or something. What do you think about the Human Revolution Director's Cut? I think... I didn't really like the DLC that they added. It's not bad. It's fine. But it's a little forced. It doesn't really fit. Even with the way that they, like, squeezed it in there in between, like, two sections of the original game. It still feels a little bit strange. It's kind of... That DLC is just a lot of shooting. And it breaks up the pacing. I didn't love it. But... I mean, the thing is, Human Revolution is one of the greatest video games ever made. I know original Deus Ex heads think that Human Revolution is not as good in comparison to the original, and they're probably right. But it's still one of the greatest video games ever made. I have played all the way through Human Revolution probably 5 or 6 times in my life, and that's like a 30-hour game. So, well, maybe not 30 hours, but 15 to 20. Removing the piss filter helped and hurt. Some areas look better, but Detroit actually looked worse. Yeah, that's one of the things that I think is take it or leave it. I like the original look of the game with the heavy emphasis on yellow. The game was designed with that in mind, is the thing. Like, that game was designed with a yellow color grading, and that's one of those things where that's something movies do. That's something films have done for a really long time, is they have color grading with a color palette that is meant to emphasize a kind of atmosphere and mood. Video games have not done that for a long time. Now they do it more now, but Human Revolution was an earlier example of the game really going hard on its color palette and its color grading. And when you take away the filter, it's not really a filter. It is kind of a color grade. It is a filter, but the game was designed with that look in mind. So a lot of the areas, they don't look as good because they weren't really made with the absence of that color palette in mind, you know? So I would probably prefer it with the original color. I don't think the game... Like, for instance, when you play Mankind Divided, it clearly lacks that. It has... Because they overcorrected. Mankind Divided doesn't have any kind of color palette or color grading or anything. It just looks like a video game, and I like it less for that. But of course, you know, I'm biased. I love when games have like that gross, like, grayed out piss filter. Some of my favorite games look like that. Resident Evil 5, for instance. Michael, what's up? Welcome to the stream, man. But yeah, it's... I don't know. I like the yellow filter on Human Revolution. That might just be me. But look, RoboCop Rogue City is 90% off on Steam right now. I'm looking at the summer sale stuff. Dude, I am still just so bummed out about that Perfect Dark cancellation. And it wasn't just that. That Rareware game got canceled as well, which is another huge bummer. I was thinking about Perfect Dark, and how much money do you think Microsoft sank into that project? Because that game was being developed by Crystal Dynamics and another studio called The Initiative. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure The Initiative was founded in like 2017, 18, 19, somewhere in there. And it was founded with massive backing from Microsoft to exist as Microsoft's quadruple A studio. Like, the whole point of that studio was to pull in a lot of money and then develop these huge, like, high budget, like, blockbuster video games. But they were, I mean, the initial announcement was 4 years ago, and the game was probably in development for at least 6 months before that. So that game has probably been in active development for around 5 years. You know how much money that is? That has to be close to $500 million. At least 100 million plus. Yeah, I'm thinking more than that, man. A AAA game, your average AAA game with a 2.5-year development cycle takes 200 to 300 mil. You know, this game probably, I mean, it must have been closing in on $500 million. You know, 350, 400 million dollars. To can that is crazy. Like, at that point, if you're looking at it, I know sunken cost fallacy and all that. Just because you've poured a lot of money into it doesn't mean you need to keep going. But at that point, bring in another studio, fire some people, fire some leadership, and be like, all right, what do we have? We need to salvage this project. We've been sinking money. How do you even let that happen? How do you work on a game for 4 years and not have enough stuff to salvage some kind of game? I don't understand. Apparently, a bunch of rumors are saying that the gameplay demo that was shown last year was fake. And it looked real. Like, it looked cherry-picked, and it looked like it was playing through a couple of scripted events, but there's people saying that was faked. It was all just pre-rendered and scripted and stuff, which, whoa, that's crazy. You know? I would believe it more if they said it was a vertical slice, but the rest of the game was still far out of development. But how? How? Naughty Dog made Jack X in a year. Jack X had 1 year development cycle. You're telling me that in 1 year from that trailer to now, they didn't have at least a quarter of a game? How? What were they doing? Were they clocking in 9 to 5 and working an hour a day? What the fuck were they doing? You must have had at least a couple $2 million worth of 3D models and assets and motion capture. Like, you're just throwing all that away. I don't get it. Maybe these studios wouldn't be hemorrhaging costs if they would stop throwing away millions of dollars worth of assets. Just a thought. You know, in addition to that, a lot of these studios have a really, really bad tendency to think they need to reinvent the wheel every time they make a new game. Like, if you make a game and it does well, and you're developing a sequel or a reimagining or a reboot, you need to be pretty close to your original. Most of the work is already done for you. Bring over some assets and some ideas and reference those design docs. Do we know for a fact it was being developed for 4 to 5 years? Well, we don't. But here's what we do know. We know it was announced over 4 years ago. And we know that the teams that were working on it were the Initiative and Crystal Dynamics. We know that the Initiative was a team that was formed in like 2019, I think, to be Microsoft's quadruple A studio, to make a huge big budget. And we know they were given the Perfect Dark IP. So if it wasn't being actively developed for around 4 years, then the team got the IP, announced they were making it, and then fucked off for 3 years and started working on it last year. So what were they doing? I don't think the Initiative actually ever released a game. So from the time they were founded, hang on, let's do a little investigation right now. Okay, yeah, let's take a look. The Initiative was an American video game developer and a studio of Xbox Studios. So they shut down. The studio was shut down today on July 2nd, 2025. They were formed in 2018. They never released a game. There are no games to their name. The one product on their Wikipedia entry is Perfect Dark, which got canceled, and it was announced today. I mean, there's people here. They had an entire studio. They were founded 7 years ago. What were they working on? What were they doing for 7 years? They had people from, they had the writer of Red Dead Redemption. They had senior producer of God of War. Talent from BioWare, Naughty Dog, Respawn, Santa Monica Studio, Blizzard Entertainment, Insomniac Games, and Rockstar Games. They had an enormous amount of industry veterans, and they existed for 7 years, and they never released a game. What the fuck? Doubt Naughty Dog had that much budget sunk. A bit easier to release it and not make all the money back in the world. Well, according to an interview I was reading with one of the co-founders of Naughty Dog, they said every game development was like an anxiety attack because if that game didn't do well enough, their company would go under. And the reported budget for Jak 3 was $10 million. But that guy said it was probably closer to like 30 or 40 million. So a lot of money was going into the Jak and Daxter games. Team Ninja keeps putting out quality games every year and a half or so. That's what I'm fucking saying. Like, what I'm seeing here is that they had some immense talent over at the Initiative. What did they do for 7 years? They're working to reimagine... Okay, I'm on their website. Working to reimagine Perfect Dark. We are in a unique position to operate as an independent studio under the banner and backing of Xbox Game Studios and Microsoft. Groundbreaking, high-quality games that leave an impact. They existed for 7 years, and presumably they were working on Perfect Dark for the majority of that. Their website shows a poster of Perfect Dark, and it looks cool. Almost sounds like the way IBM, they used to cancel super expensive divisions with no public product releases based on executive horse trading all the time. Damn, I hope it wasn't something that stupid. This is fucking insane. They must have had something half close to a finished product. I don't get it, dude. A studio was formed 7 years ago. They had a Twitter account. They had tweets. It's called The Initiative. They had talent. Massive amounts of talent. Their Wikipedia page says they had people from BioWare, Naughty Dog, Respawn, Santa Monica, Blizzard, Insomniac, and Rockstar. Like, we're talking best of the best talent. Or at the very least, people who worked with the best of the best. What did some executive see Perfect Dark and say, this isn't going to make us any money? What happened? I wish we could get some kind of... Damn. Yeah, and their Twitter account hasn't even acknowledged the closure of the studio, so whoever ran it probably just didn't fucking acknowledge it. They probably don't even work there anymore. This Twitter page, probably no one even knows how to get into it anymore. EP in the place to be. R.I.P. Mike Cable.
EP in our place to be. R.I.P. Mike Cable.
Yeah. Brief moment of silence for the old Mike Cable. Really held in there, man. Full name, Michael Cable. He's gone now. He's gone to a worse place. Landfill. Damn. I don't know, yeah. And on top of that, it's worse. That new Rare game got canceled. Tons of layoffs got announced today. Yeah, Everwild. They canceled Everwild, which was apparently in development for years. So it's not like Perfect Dark just kind of drew a short stick, because this game also got canceled, and it's been in development for a while. Yeah, it's been in development since 2019. And it's gone. It's over. And tons of studios laid off thousands of people. Find out once some people have moved on and secured new jobs. I doubt it. There's probably NDAs out the ass, man. All of these employees probably signed a non-disclosure agreement for like a small severance. You know what I mean? Rareware is still a thing. They have been. I don't know if they are now. They've been working on one game. That's the thing, when you're a company and you work on like one passion project game, that game has to do well. And if your producer comes in and cancels your fucking game, it's over. Like, how's your studio going to continue to exist? Here, okay. I mean, Rare is still tweeting. I mean, they have Sea of Thieves. That might still be making them money. I don't know. I don't really care. I didn't care about the game Rare was working on. I thought it looked fucking stupid. I don't think there's even the original people there. But it's just, that's also, they got their game canceled. They only seem to keep the Sea of Thieves running. Yeah. It's not even the same people who made any of the other games. It is weird, though, that Rare, the old Rare, made Perfect Dark. And then Rare's new game and the unrelated reimagining of Rare's old game both got their cancellations announced at the same time. It's a little odd. It's a little strange. And look, I know it's hard out here for everybody, but it doesn't really affect me because I already make very, very little money. I live on like cans of tuna and stuff. So like a lot of these people, I'm like, welcome to poverty, you know what I'm saying? But also, it is always sad to see these enormous amounts of layoffs. I mean, Obsidian Games, I think, just announced some layoffs. Yeah, Rare had to lay a bunch of people off. Xbox in general, dude, Microsoft and Xbox have just laid off tons of people. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying that he thinks it might be Xbox Game Pass just is not pulling in the money that they were hoping it would, because it's $15 a person, so you need 4 subscriptions to make up the cost of one video game. It's kind of why we know a bunch of the shenanigans from the IT industry in the 80s and 90s. The NDAs have all expired. Yeah. But, you know, the NDAs expired. What are you going to do? What kind of action are you going to take on a company that did some weird shit in the 90s? Before the internet existed? I mean, the internet existed back then, but it wasn't very popular. You want to go back and take action against something, most of those people are retired or dead. Talent left back in 97. The rest quit in 2002. Yeah, that's true. But that's most developers. I mean, Naughty Dog used to be one of the greatest developers of all time. Now look what they're working on. Insane. Fellas, it's grim. Like you live in a country with a well-developed social safety net where the government loves poor people and doesn't want to punish them, right? Talking about the United States? I don't know if I would say that's the case. I'm not saying that, like, I feel like other countries probably take better care of their poor people. I'm not poor enough to benefit from social benefits and stuff. I'm like, just like, I'm a, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't take advantage of that. I'm at that place where, like, I can afford groceries and rent, but one unexpected cost fucking sinks me for a month. That's where I'm at. Remember video games? No, what's that? I do remember video. Actually, speaking of video games, I'm gonna be playing some Jak and Daxter: The Lost Frontier tonight. Maybe finishing it, probably not. I'll probably get close to finishing it though. I'm about halfway through it now. I've been going through The Lost Frontier, and it's pretty good. Some sarcasm there, Evan. Okay, yeah, I see. My sarcasm meter is burned out from yelling about layoffs. But I'm gonna be playing some Lost Frontier a little bit later. What's up, Loopy? How's it going, Loopy? And I used to hang out in real life. He can attest. I'm not very sharp, not very quick when it comes to sarcasm. Kind of slow. Yeah, I've been playing Lost Frontier. It's really good. I think people have given it a bad rap. I've been really enjoying it so far. And then, of course, Jack X video should be out this Sunday. It's planned. I'm pretty close to having it done, so it's probably coming out this Sunday. And then I'm kind of ready to be done with Jack and Daxter, to be honest with you guys. There's some other games that I really want to get into, like the Hitman games and possibly some other stuff. I also want to get into some more like obscure kind of games. Like, I don't know, I need to make a list of obscure like old PS1 games that I can live stream. Wednesday is supposed to be my play a game stream, but there's nothing I really want to play. Like, normally I would be, like, playing a game right now, but, like, I don't really want to play anything. I wanted to play Perfect Dark, but now it's not happening. Now it's canceled. And there goes the last AAA immersive sim shooter in development. Damn. Ratchet & Clank, old Sony games, farm views. Yeah, Ratchet & Clank was really up there for me, actually. Like, I was really thinking about doing that one. Because I want to do the Hitman games, and I don't think those are going to do very well, view-wise. The Quake videos don't do very well either. The Quake videos, I think doing videos on Quake has actually hurt my channel. I just really like the games. I mean, I have a Quake tattoo. I wanted to make Quake videos, but I think it actually hurt my channel, so I'm probably going to need to do Perfect Dark got canceled. Oh, Katrina. Yeah, welcome to the stream, Katrina. Perfect Dark is canceled. It's gone. The studio that was working on it for 7 years shut down. Perfect Dark canceled. The new Rare game canceled. Thousands of layoffs all announced today. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Darkness 1 for my birthday. Hey, let's go. That game slaps. But yeah, back to your point, Condemned Marine. I'm going to have to cover it's probably going to be Ratchet & Clank. Somebody else suggested Gex. I don't think that'll get the same views. I think if I do Ratchet & Clank games, that's going to do a lot better. I'm also thinking about kind of changing the way that I do videos. I'm not confirming or saying that I'm going to do this, but I am considering reducing the size and the amount of time that I spend talking about individual videos. And talking a little bit less, but talking about more in one video. So instead of doing like a 7 or 8 hour long series where I release individual videos on individual games, I just put out like a 2.5 or 3 hour video where I talk about every game just a little bit less. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but that is something I'm considering. It's just cleaner, you know, so we'll see. Very niche, and the games aren't very fun either. Yeah, that would be brutal. So it's probably going to be Ratchet & Clank. I'm not saying I'm going to do Ratchet & Clank, but I'm saying that's up there for my considerations. Because after I finish Jack, I'm going to need something to kind of... Because I started covering Jack and Daxter when I wanted to take a break from Dragon Ball Z. So I needed something in a kind of similar vein. That was the answer. And Ratchet & Clank are probably going to be the answer. Unless I think of something else. Sly Cooper's off the table. It doesn't really fit my channel as much, but also another YouTuber I know is probably going to do a Sly Cooper series. And so it wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world if we both did videos on it, but I don't really want to cause that kind of crossover, so I'm probably not going to do Sly Cooper. But I mean, I love Ratchet & Clank, so I would love to get into it. The only Ratchet & Clank games I ever played, though, were 1 and 3. And I played the first mission of 2, so I wouldn't mind getting in there. Crisis Warhead? Oh, dude, Crisis. That's a series I really want to cover. Gosh, maybe I should. Maybe I should just... Because there's only 3 Crisis games, right? Maybe I should do a test run on that, right? So make like a 2-hour Crisis video where it's just Crisis... It's the entire series. instead of splitting it up. Crysis seems like a great series to do that with. Ratchet & Clank emulates pretty well, but requires specific settings on PC SX2. If that's the route you take, let me know. I'll send you my settings. Yes, that's probably what I'll do. Yeah. I mean, you go ahead. Actually, go grab your... If it's convenient, you can grab your settings now and post them in the chat, and I'll copy them. 4 Crysis games? There was a 4th? I thought that was in active development, but it was going to get canceled. Crysis Warhead is a standalone DLC, but it's not a full... Is it a full game? Oh, it is. It's a full game, apparently. And Crysis 4, it's apparently still in development. Oh, it's been put on hiatus, but I don't think... Because I remember it was... I thought it was canceled. Oh, there's some Crysis novels. I love covering series when they have like novels and comics and stuff. Okay, this is looking promising. I might very well do a video on just one. See, this is one of those series that... it would probably be 2 hours, 3 hours, and I would just talk about all of the Crysis games. Maybe a short, say, 10-minute first look of selected snippets and thoughts in real time of your first hour playing games you haven't played before as a teaser for the full video to come, like an announcement. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? I'm not sure I'm fully understanding. Pepperoni pizza? I can do both. I can do both. I can review Crysis and eat a pepperoni pizza. I guess I would have to play the original and the remaster. Because I see they did a Crysis Remastered, and then they did a Crysis Remastered Trilogy. Wonder if I can stuff that into my schedule. Maybe like in between Jack and Ratchet or something. I would love to. Are they all on Steam? Let me go check. Because I'm also thinking about doing that for him. I'm really... the thing is, I think big videos do better than small videos, so... They're all on sale in the summer sale. Damn, the whole trilogy is only 20 bucks right now. And then Warhead looks like it's its own thing. Just as a video idea, when you are playing a game for the first time for a review, get a second video out by doing a first look video. Oh, that's a good idea. That would probably be good for... That'd probably be good for like members only stuff. Or like maybe my second channel. I have a second channel that I'm still not entirely sure what to do with. What I have been doing is just grabbing clips from my live streams and putting them on the second channel. But that might be good second channel content, is just record like the first hour of playing a game and giving my thoughts on it. That's a good idea, actually. Dude, thanks, Michael. I might do that. That's pretty good. I don't see, the thing about Hitman is I don't know if it would be better to do that in like individual videos per game or one shorter video kind of deal. I don't know. See, Crysis, I can't really see myself doing 3 hour to an hour and a half long videos on Crysis. But I can see myself doing 3 20-minute sections on each game, 20 to 30, and then like one big video where I talk about Crysis. See, like that. I don't know if you guys watch Windy Goon, but probably something kind of like how he does when he talks about games, where it's just like 1 2.5 hour video of everything. That's just probably be more watchable too. Damn, this fucking Crysis trilogy is calling my name. It's $19, and it's all 3 remastered. I'm not gonna pull the trigger on it right now, but worth a try. Yeah, I mean that would give me something to put on my second channel and on my Patreon. Have a good stream, dude. Oh, dude, Loopy, thanks for tuning in, man. You as well. Hopefully you have a stream whenever you stream next. Crysis lore gets fairly deep for a linear game with hints of open world. Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, like, that's something... It's very easy for me to accidentally take a script too far and end up just talking way more about it than I than I originally intended. It looks like they don't sell the original Crysis games, only the remastered ones. But they still have Crysis 2 Maximum Edition. So that's kind of strange that they would sell Crysis 2 What's the difference between Maximum Edition and Remastered? You'd think they would pull that off sale. Especially when you get a bit passionate. Yeah, so there's been several videos that were intended to be a little bit shorter and then wound up blowing themselves up. Why are we not playing Halo right now? Anyone? Because it's a talk stream. It's not a game stream right now. Copy pasting the settings here is a pain. I'll email them to you. Oh yeah, do that. That's fine. You can get the originals on GOG still. What? I would probably use the remastered trilogy if I was going to do a video on it there, right? I mean, that would probably be the way to go. The Jack 2 video is a great example, by the way. So when I did a video on Jack 1, it was 30 minutes long. The intention was for me to do 30-minute videos on all of the Jack games. Those were supposed to be shorter in-between videos while I was focusing on Quake. But Jack 2 was so fun and so good, and I liked it so much that I just pulled it into a full video because I wanted to talk about it. And when I was writing about the script, I just kept writing and enjoying it. So now my Jack 2 and 3 videos are over an hour. Like the longer videos you make? Yeah, but well, something's gonna. I need to refine the way I'm making my videos. It's kind of sporadic and chaotic. I want, like, ideally, the Quake 1 video, the complete one that's like almost 3 hours. Ideally, I would only ever put out videos like that, but they take too long, so I can't. It's brutal. It's trying to balance keeping up with the algorithm, but also making the kind of videos that you want. It's a constant compromise, man. But we're learning. We're getting better. We're getting better. The full series video on Jack and Daxter is going to go hard, though. I do like the idea of some Crysis. Might make that happen. I gotta wrap up, because that's another thing, is I was thinking about doing that with Bond as well. I haven't made up my mind how I'm gonna do it, because I kind of want to do individual videos, so like a individual video on GoldenEye, individual video on The World Is Not Enough, but I also kind of want to just do one big 2.5 hour video where I talk about all the Bond games. But I don't know, because the thing is, there's a lot more to say about GoldenEye or Nightfire than there is about, like, the Tomorrow Never Dies game, you know? So I would just have to only give some games their own video, and then others would just be covered, which I already do. But so many of the games would have to be left out. Hitman is also giving me some trouble, because the last 3 games, Hitman 2 and Hitman 3, are full games, but now they're all one game. So do I do one big-ass video on Hitman World of Assassination, or do I split it up? And you know what I'm saying? It gets complicated when you get to newer games. Does it run Crysis? I remember in 2011, I pre-ordered Crysis 2. And I brought it home, I booted it up, and I ran Crysis 2 on my Xbox 360, and I got an achievement. I think the achievement for playing the game or beating the first mission on Xbox is called Does It Run Crysis? I think I can find that out, actually. Gosh, that was a long time ago. I would have been a teenager. Yeah, can it run Crysis? When you complete the first mission of Crysis 2 on your 360, you get an achievement called Can It Run Crysis? Bond would work as little half-hour videos for each. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but it almost makes the channel look worse. You know, I don't stuff. You gotta, because you also have to be very mindful of the algorithm. So I put out 3 different 30-minute videos on Bond games and all 3 of them do badly, it could just kill the channel. So you have to be so careful. People going nuts trying to get their PCs to play it at something resembling FPS versus SPF on the hardware of the day. Crysis was brutal, dude. I actually wonder sometimes how much of that was the game being impressive and how much of it was it just being poorly optimized. I remember loving Crysis 2, and then I remember not liking Crysis 3, so I don't know. I remember they tried to do like the thing with the bow and arrow, and I played like 3 hours of Crysis 3. I was like, dude, this is not fun. Needing to play the system, yeah, it does, but that's how it is. It was written for PCs of the future. Well, we got a remastered version of it, which is funny to think that that game would even need a remaster, but I'm looking right at it. Crysis Remastered. $10 on Steam. It looks fucking incredible, though. These screenshots look like this game came out now. Like this Crysis Remaster came out in 2021, and these screenshots look like the game is debuting in 2021, you know? That was the design brief. They wanted something for computers 10 years after launch. Well, they got what they wanted. Crysis 2, I think, was much better optimized. It doesn't look as good, admittedly. But damn, was that game cool. I also thought Alcatraz was a really cool character. It kind of sucks that they ditched him and brought back Prophet from the first game. Rise Son of Rome is on PC? When did that happen? Yeah. It's on Steam for $3.49. I thought this game was an Xbox exclusive. Damn, I need to play this. This game looks baller. They heard the feedback and made something that the market could actually run. Probably good for financials and business. Still need to try the Crysis games. I've only played 2 and 3. I've never played the original Crysis. I don't even know very much about it. But I really liked Crysis 2. Never played Rise Son of Rome either, but damn, it looks cool. That was on PC ages ago. That was like 2 PCs ago for me. I need to just get 1 PC and just perpetually upgrade it. Crysis is a good idea for a video. I'm gonna put that down. You need the video game trivia guy in here? Yeah, he's not in here. I guess maybe he's got something going on tonight. Man. Pretty soon I'm gonna log off and go play some Jack and Daxter The Lost Frontier. I got to get script writing for that pretty soon. Because Jack X is slotted for this Sunday. And then I'm going to release... so far I have planned a Star Wars Starfighter, Jedi Starfighter compilation video, putting those together, put them out. Might not be viable, but what about gameplay and lore as separate videos? That wouldn't be super viable. I also don't think it would do very well. In fact, the opposite is true. It's easier to put all of it in one video and then package it with like an essay title. That's what really does well. People don't like to click on analysis videos. They like to click on intrigue videos. Settings as well as links for the HD texture packs if you want to use them. Let's go. I probably won't use the HD texture packs because I'll just want to get footage of it, how it looks. But I don't know. Maybe I will. We'll see. But the settings will help a lot. Yeah, that will be very good. If I decide to cover, the Ratchet & Clank games. Doing the Bond series keep the story basic and the gameplay breakdown and do a total lore breakdown for the series. That's the plan. So I have a different outline from the one I normally use, specifically for the Bond videos, because I'm still thinking about trying to put them all together in one like 2-hour video or something. I haven't fully decided how I'm going to go about it yet, but it's going to be lighter on the story. But I mean, most of them, like the only ones I would really need to go in depth about on the story would be like Nightfire and Everything or Nothing and like Bloodstone, like games that had their own original story. The rest of them, it's just like, well, it's the movie. You know, I can't really say much about the story of Tomorrow Never Dies because you can beat the whole game in an hour. So it's complicated. I'm still working on how to put it together. We're gonna figure it out though. Oh, they announced new DLC for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Ventured through the Demon Realm, Part 1. They got Daima. That's pretty cool. It's cool that game is so old and still getting updates. Didn't that game come out like almost a decade ago? Just going to keep throwing ideas out. Use what you feel is worthwhile and tell me to shut up, idiot, for the rest. No, dude. Yeah, throw all the ideas out you can. Everybody's welcome to throw ideas out. I'm just trying to make this channel work. Okay, not a decade. Kakarot came out in 2020, so 5 years ago. Okay, 5 years of support's reasonable. What's up, Jefferson Spy Plane? Welcome to the stream. Make sure to use code EvanPrince for your next 20% off your next G Fuel purchase. It's empty right now, but I got my G Fuel container right here. I need to order some more of the hydrate formula. This stuff is baller. I do like the idea of a Crisis video a lot, though. I'm trying to think about how I could put that together. I gotta get through the Quake video, dude. The Quake series is gonna fucking kill me. Just the thought of having to do for the Quake 2 expansions what I did for the Quake 1 expansions is brutal to think about. Like, especially given how little payoff that had. Like, those videos did not do well. Australian shut up idiot is basically a term of endearment. My wife might get jealous. Well, I'd have to say it in an Australian accent. I can't speak in an Australian accent. How would that be? I shut up, idiot. It's my best. It's my best try. Channel my inner Chris Hemsworth for a second. Might not be a bad idea to cover the Call of Duty campaigns. Games are no more than 6 to 8 hours each, and I've seen people get great views on them. I thought about it. Call of Duty campaigns would be great. The Black Ops games would be really, really good, I think. Doing a video on Black Ops would be really cool. I don't know. I might literally just do the first Black Ops, though. I don't think I would want to do anything. Or the Black Ops trilogy, maybe, but it's not really a continuous trilogy. Like, I would have to do Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and then kind of lead up to Black Ops 7, I guess. To experience and put it behind us. I gave it my best shot, man. I gave it my best. What about a BioShock series? Probably not. I am not that big on BioShock. Also, I don't know how good the views on that would be. I mean, what is it? It's you have plasmid superpowers that make people go crazy. Also, Ayn Rand bad. That's it. That's the whole fucking. I don't have that much to say about BioShock. I think it's kind of a silly series. It was just Ken Levine furiously glaring at Atlas Shrugged and like writing how Ayn Rand is terrible and I hate her repeatedly on a fucking notepad, and then giving it to his team and said, make a game out of this. The themes of BioShock are so huge. For someone with your focus, it might be a dangerous rabbit hole. Yeah, that's another thing, is I would end up dissecting it all for 10 hours, but No, probably not BioShock. I would have to do so much writing to talk about that in a way that was productive. And I don't even like the games. I think I've bought BioShock 4 times in my life. And I didn't beat it any of those times. I just didn't like it. BioShock was covered in every detail you could ever imagine by American Krogan. See, yeah, that's another thing. I have nothing new to say about it. I would have to force myself to talk about BioShock. Now, I would like a game that's kind of depthy like that. Outlast is one I really want to do. I actually played through the entire the first Outlast about a month or two ago and got all the footage because I really want to do a video on the Outlast games. So I would probably do that over BioShock. I think those games are a little less silly, and I think they have more to say beyond I don't like Ayn Rand. You know what I'm saying? Something a little bit more interesting and unique. BioShock 1 and 2 are great. I never played 2. I played half of BioShock Infinite because a friend of mine was really, really into it. Like, he really, really liked BioShock Infinite. And I just couldn't get it, man. I played 6 hours of it and I didn't enjoy any of it. I was like, dude, this is just like a bad shooter. System Shock games, there's a good one. I could do that, but I don't think I'm ready for that one. William Shatner's Tech War it is? Nah, no, I don't. It's not impossible, but I don't think it would be very easy for people to outdo City 11. Like, his video on that is definitive. Games like Outlast are pretty evil. I mean, if you want to be kind of like pearl clutchy about it, I guess I could see it, but I mean, I come from a long line of British. Like, I'm American, but ethnically I'm like 70% Anglo, like British. So I imagine my Christian ancestors were chopping people's arms off and like fighting in war and watching legs get dismembered and blood sprayed all over their face, screaming, and as like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can really be a Christian man and be bothered by gore. Like, that's just the reality of human existence. You watch a lion tear apart a hyena, you can't be like, oh, that's terrible. That's life. System Shock goes hard. I can't wait for System Shock 2 Well, it's already out, so you don't have to wait for it. It's available now, brother. You can get it on Steam for $30. Pearl clutching, they cut the guy's fingers off while he screams. Yeah, well, no, they don't. Nobody cut off anybody's fingers while they screamed. It's a video game. So a guy sat comfortably in his booth and pretended to get his fingers cut off. You know what I mean? It's not the same as like watching a worker get caught up in a machine on Live Leak. It's just it's people playing pretend and then like depicting it. I'm not saying that that's a justification for everything ever, but after playing through Outlast, I don't think it's that bad. Scripture is flee from what is evil and do what is good. I got bad news about Halo then for you, brother, because those games depict like killing, and not just aliens. Like, if you play the multiplayer, you're killing humans, and it's pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? The logic just breaks down. It's just a video game. For finger things since then. Oh, you mean cutting off the finger? It's so funny in Heavy Rain because you can like pick which tools to do it. God, okay, I would say it's problematic. If somebody played that game and they thought and they liked it, they were like, yeah, I like the part where we cut off his finger. I'm like, okay, you probably shouldn't be playing these games. But if you have the human natural reaction of, oh, that is uncomfortable, that bothers me, then you're fine. You're a normal human being. It's not glorifying these things. It's depicting them as this is bad, this is evil. The corporation that is exploiting these people and making this happen, like all of this is bad. To demonize these things is actively good. You know, if you read Homer, for instance, you know, the Iliad, the Odyssey, there are depictions of gore and other things, but you can't be like, don't read them. It's all simulation. They fight aliens in campaign. Halo is fine. Horror games are a different story. Well, I mean, we're just going to have to... I don't think we're going to be able to agree on this one. I love Dead Space. I love Dead Space 2. I would draw the line at games that glorify it, but games that depict it as bad are a different story. But I mean, this has always been a thing. I mean, you had people. There have been books. You know, if you go back to the even way before media, you had books being written that were challenging. There was a time where Dracula was considered like evil, like an evil read, even though that book is clearly depicting vampires as evil, and that's why the cross like puts them back, because it's uncomfortable to read, and people would be like, "This is evil, don't read it." I'm not one of those. I don't think we're gonna find common ground on this. Dead Space 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's covered in gore. Destroy All Humans 1 and 2. I don't even know anything about those games. Him having to do it himself was what made it hard for me. Yeah, dude, that scene is the climbing through glass also was, that's rough. I can't imagine doing stuff like that. I mean, like that was like the theme of that game. Like what are you willing to do? How far are you willing to go to like save your kid? Amnesia is a horror game for you? I think Amnesia is a horror game for most people. It's a pretty scary game. Soma is also, it's less scary, but it's also scary. Dead Space 1 and 2 are great. I still need to try 3. No, you don't. You're good. Leave it on 2. I think 2 is actually a better ending for the series than 3. I would leave it on 2. Vampires are sexy now, not evil. Yeah, but a big part of that is this modern subversion thing where they take something that traditionally was depicted as bad and now it's good. Like, that's the idea. Dante's Inferno is another one. So when Dante Alighieri released the Divine Comedy, which was released in chunks, a lot of people took extreme issue to his writing, the way he depicted hell in his Inferno canto. Even though, you know, it's just fiction, but he writes in there that there's demons that grab people up and slice them piece by piece. They slice their fingers off, then they slice their arms off, then they just chop them up into little bits and pieces. They just keep chopping and chopping and chopping. And once they're in little bite-sized pieces, the body reforms, and the demon picks it up and does that again. That is one example. It is filled with heinous examples of things, and all of it is related to sin. And it is a really profound and incredible read. It makes you think about your own like sins and stuff. I think that is a wonderful book, but a lot of people in his time took extreme issue with it. He was a Catholic. He himself was a God-fearing man, but people took issue with it because it made him feel uncomfortable. Do you ever watch Roanoke Gaming's movie reviews? I find it a lot easier to digest horror stuff with his comedic presentations and then scientific. Yeah, I do watch his stuff. He doesn't know me, but he has unintentionally shouted out stuff that I've done before. He's cool. I like him. That's actually the case with a lot. There's a lot of horror. I'm very okay with horror games. Horror movies are actually harder for me to watch. Why do you say it's fine if it isn't really happening? If there was something phallic but digital, does it make it safe for children to watch? I wouldn't think so. Obviously, you have to draw a line. Obviously, I wouldn't say... It's not so much that I say it's fine if it's not happening. It's just, I mean, Sam, did you watch my my video on Dante's Inferno? It's not a good look. Some things are bad, some things are good. And I said this at the end of my Manhunt video as well. It is very important, especially for Christians, to not freak out over things that aren't problematic, because then when we freak out over things that are problematic, people don't take us seriously. So the phallic thing, right? So if you have like actual like porn, I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube without it becoming problematic. If you have explicit things that are beyond appropriate in like certain media, you need to be taken seriously when you say this isn't okay. But if you say things that are clearly like not that big of a deal aren't okay, you've now lost credibility. I've played Outlast and Outlast 2 multiple times, not phased, not affected. It's just not, it really isn't that big of a deal. It's not because it isn't happening, but it's because it's absurdist, it's silly, it's over the top, it's cartoonishly silly, you know what I mean? Like the first Manhunt game was a lot more uncomfortable to me than the second one, even though the second one took things way further because it was comically silly. I'm not coming at you, by the way. Your stand is more of a general consensus, so I'm just curious. Oh no, I don't think you're coming at me, Sam. You know we're chill, brother. I'm just saying that it is actually something that is meaningful to me because I think, and I don't want to go off on some kind of preachy tangent, but as someone who, you know, produces art and consumes art and likes art, art is very important to me. And as someone who is, you know, a professing Christian, it is very frustrating to me because a lot of Christian people give really bad representation to my belief by just freaking out over little things. Growing up in a Christian area, listening to metal music, it was always a problem. I listened to Christian metal music, by the way. It was like metalcore, deathcore, but they had like positive, uplifting vocals, and people said it was demonic. And then I was going to get possessed by demons, and they would listen to it, and they'd be like, "This, I feel the devil in this." And they meant it. They felt it. Christian music written by Christian people. It was just heavy, and they screamed. And I growing into adult, I was like, "You didn't feel shit. You're just a person who's uncomfortable with it, and that's very not okay." I'm not talking about you, Sam, by the way. I'm just saying that this is something I've had to deal with. And it's very bothering to me now because grown men, you've got to calcify yourself of a lot of shit. You cannot be getting bothered by video games unless they're like, I don't think I can say the R word on YouTube. Grape Simulator that came out on Steam. That's problematic. Yeah, that's bad. You should not have that. And I shouldn't have to explain why. You know what I mean? That's obviously bad. I'll be on you like shit on Velcro when you spout lies like Halo Infinite is real Halo. Brother, come on. Played a lot of violent game. Hang on. This place is far from an echo chamber. You have no true convictions if they cannot be challenged. Yeah, I'm about that. And obviously Sam doesn't have any problem with me. He and I go back and forth on Halo Infinite all day. Sam is a very mature, grown man. I Must Scream is one of my favorite novellas. Yeah, and that one's hard to read too. The Catholics used to have one of the biggest collections of transgressive media of all types for the whole Know Thy Enemy thing, right? Yeah, back when that was important. Not the devil's music. Yeah, well, now I make metal music. I'm working on a song about Gears of War right now. It's deathcore, really heavy, brutal stuff. It's about a video game. You know, it's not a big deal. Yes, actually, and I'm not a Catholic, but I very much agree with the Know Thy Enemy thing. I think that you have to be careful because it's easy to get corrupted by stuff like that. When I say corrupted, I mean like you can convince yourself of... It's just, you have to be aware of how much kind of media like that you consume, but there is definitely a prospect. You can't... It's not for everybody. I think every man needs to try to decide like what he is. You know, if you're someone who wants to be involved in media and art and talk about them and make videos about them like me, then that's what you do, and you can't be getting your feelings hurt by movies. That's not for everybody. There are men who are meant for different tasks. Like King David, scripture says that he was a man after God's own heart. God told him, you can't build the temple. Why? Because you have too much blood. You've killed too many people. David killed those people for God. He did it for godly reasons. It wasn't wrong of him to go to war for moral right reasons. But he was a warrior, and God did not want the temple to be rebuilt by a warrior. He wanted it to be built by a builder. Some men are warriors. They want to get blood on their hands. That's what they're meant for. Some men are builders. That's not for them. That's just the way it is. If you're not a Christian, you're not religious, that's fine. You know, you can still take the meaning out of that, regardless. Like Condemned said, this is not an echo chamber. I don't want to tell you how to think, but some people are meant for certain things, and I am not someone who is meant to be finding what is too far and what's not, because I can play something like Outlast and not feel a thing. That game didn't even freak me out at all. But some people, it freaks them out, it scares them. There are certain games that have freaked me out, though. I'm trying to think of an example. Alien Isolation freaked me out. Not from being gory, but just they did a really good job of scaring you with that damn alien. That thing was freaky. Like, if we exist in the Middle Ages, I'd probably end up getting drafted by the king to have to kill people. So, you know what I mean? You gotta be willing to step to the line. I used to get offended by some of my friends' art until she explained to me that getting it out of her head was a way of not letting it reside there. Not the way I process, but I'm not going to judge. Yeah, that's big. I mean, like Sam actually pointed out very wisely earlier, that explanation only goes so far. If someone was drawing, I would call it, I don't know what to call it, CP. If someone was drawing CP and they said, well, it's the only way to get it out of my head, I'd say, okay, well, that's still a problem, and you probably still should not draw that, and we need to get you somewhere where you're not a danger to somebody. But if it's just weird, like, Tim Burton shit, or like Hyper Tim Burton, you know, it's not that problem. Pathologic 2 is easily the scariest game I've ever played. The dread of never being good enough nearly broke me into dropping it. I only made it like 20 minutes into that game, and I was like, bro, this is... That's that deep horror. I think Soma is probably one of the freakiest games of all time, because it's one of the... Soma, I think, is one of the only video games to ever truly embody existential dread. Like, truly embody it. Because you've seen other games try, like games that are trying to be like Lovecraftian and be like existential dread, cosmic horror, and what they really mean is Cthulhu. But Soma, that game is that's the only... I've heard people say Eternal Darkness does this too. I've never played it. Maybe it does. But Soma is the kind of game that I think is true existential horror. I actually went back and rewatched the ending of that game not too long ago. And even just rewatching the ending, knowing what was going to happen, I felt like inside of me, I was like, ugh, this is brutal, dude. Hers was monstrous form of victim's POV. Let's not analyze that any further, though. Yeah, let's not analyze your friend. We don't need to do that. She is... We'll leave her alone. If that helps her, that helps her. The Talos Principle is a bright puzzle game, but the story is so good it will make you question life. I've always seen that game pop up on Steam. Yeah, here it is. It's $5 on Steam, and then there was a sequel for $15, and then Reawakened is $30. I guess is that a remaster of the first one, or is that a third one? I don't know what Reawakened is. Okay, it's a remaster. That's cool. It's way more expensive. I still have Soma on my to-play list. You can get through it pretty quick, but just prepare yourself, man. It's brutal. Yo, Gunner, welcome to the stream, man. You're coming in near the end, but that's fine. All are welcome anytime. I mean, I haven't replaced it, and it hasn't really been giving me too much trouble. So I think we're on the up and up so far. I gotta play some Jak and Daxter: The Lost Frontier pretty shortly here and get some footage for that. We're talking about all kinds of good stuff. Depressing and lots of... I can't say that. I wouldn't recommend it for your mental health, but that's just me. Soma, yeah, I mean, it's even worse than that. It's mentally prepared. Just take a day or two and like ground yourself in like what you're happy about in life, what you have to look forward to, gratitude for your friends, family, and loved ones. Then maybe try to get into Soma, because it's really depressing. It's a very depressing game. And whenever the way he's putting it, it's not like Undertale, like indie. Oh, I'm sad and want a game end. It's not like that at all. It's way worse. Reawakened is a remaster of the first game bundled with the DLC. It's not worth it. Oh, okay. I like puzzle games. I liked Portal 1 and 2. Do those count? Those are puzzle games. Maybe I should do a video on Portal. There have been videos on Portal. Sure there have. Yeah, they seem to do mildly decent. For what it's worth, I always liked the ideas Ian M. Banks put across in Surface Detail, the novel, where he had virtual hells. The idea of societies punishing transgressing citizens with VR hell. Damn. I'm not familiar with Ian M. Banks. Let me look that up. In Surface. Oh, he passed away. R.I.P. Surface Detail. My gosh. It looks brutal just looking at it. Was made by Crow Team, who made Serious Sam, if that helps you. I would not have guessed that. So, Meathead FPS developer makes Profound puzzle game? That's strange. A game I really want to do a video on is Advent Rising. I would love to do a video on Advent Rising. I just don't know if it would do well. I have to find a way to package it. Hippies in space with big guns? Hell yeah. Culture series. That's crazy. I guess we're coming pretty close to probably do a longer stream tomorrow. We're coming pretty close to wrapping it up for tonight. Do you guys want to hear... I'm doing the soundtrack for a video game right now. And I have one song from it that I can show you because it's in the demo. The game is far from being done, but I can show you this one song, and I'm just going to kind of skip through it if you guys want to hear it. He wanted dark, atmospheric, slow, sludgy, like doom metal. And this kind of plays as you're exploring the area. And this is a song I've been working on for this guy's game. We'll check it. We'll just listen to a little bit of it before I go, so I can treat you guys to a little something. This is what it sounds like. Let me know if the audio's all right. I'll just kind of let it run in the background while I talk. Do it. Oh, well, it's playing right now. You play the Metro games? I played all 3 of them. I only beat the first 2. I think I may have only beat the second one. I got distracted while playing the 3rd one, but I really liked those games a lot. You're not going to break confidences for us, Evan? I thought we meant more than that to you. Oh no, this track is already. I can show you guys. I'm not breaking any confidences to show you guys this song. No Maidens? Well, it's playing right now. You're listening to it. I'll skip ahead here. He wanted like doom metal, so that's what I gave him. Exploration music. Pretty scared, yeah. Also, welcome to the stream, Copix. We haven't talked in a long time, man. Sorry that game that we were trying to get you to do voice acting for never panned out. That guy just went completely MIA, so... I don't know, man. I hope you're doing well. It's a long song. It's like 12 minutes long, so we'll skip ahead. Okay, that's just atmosphere stuff. Heart slaps hard, mate. Thank you. Sludgy. It's actually like 12 minutes long. So sad, yeah, it does. So when you're composing this sort of thing, do you think about the atmospherics, have a video to work off of? In the past, I've never gotten a video. I've gotten inspirations in screenshots and explanations. That's typically all I've ever had to go off of. You guys don't know this. I've actually composed like probably like 30 songs for different kind of video games. It's just most of them don't ever fucking finish, so they never come out. One game with one of my songs has actually released on Steam. What DAW do I use? I use FL Studio 21. Right now it's 21. So this was, and then this is a real guitar. Obviously, I got it behind me. I've showed it on stream before. Mix of Metroid and Doom. Yeah, yeah, I can hear that. It does kind of have a Metroid vibe to it. Facts. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. There's so many cool fucking songs that I've made for games that did not come out. I don't know if they're gonna come out, so I don't even know if I can show you guys, and that's so frustrating. Let's see. There's one more section of that song that I did later that's gonna come out. I've recorded so many VO lines for games and videos that never go out. It's so annoying, isn't it, dude? Because it's like every time I make a song, I'm taking it seriously, and I'm like trying to like make something cool, and then they just fucking abandon the project. So sludgy and mean. Yeah, man. I've done a lot of work for things that just never fucking manifest. This one I think will, actually. He's working hard on it. He's got a lot of good progress. I think this is probably going to come out. Yeah, here's a song from fucking like 4 years ago I did for these guys. They had gameplay. They had a playable demo. They had an entire, they had all kinds of stuff. And they just stopped making it. Let me see if I can find... Where is it? Yeah, this shit was crazy. Hang on, let me find it. Yeah, here's a track I did for these guys for their game. And it was like far along. They had 2 levels done. They had boss battles. I don't know what happened. They just stopped making it. But here's some shit I was working on with it. It's in sections so that they could split it up. Sometimes I take off work because that's the only time a director can ADR. Yeah, and they still don't drop it. What stream doesn't know is Evan did a whole vocal accompaniment for this track, but he bumped the mic before he laid it down. Yeah, that was back to the old mic cable days. Like, listen to this. This is crazy. It goes metal, don't worry. This is like 4 years ago too, man. Whatever. It's just frustrating, man. I'll show you guys a little something I'm working on. Actually, I can't show that yet. Y'all have to wait for that one. I'll have other stuff to show later. Getting a big red versus blue vibe. Good stuff. Yeah, red versus, that's class. You must mean later seasons. Whenever they brought in a different composer. I have a PRS and Friedman OD. I don't know what that means, brother. You're gonna have to give me some context. Really need some gritty piss filter FPS action to set the right tone for the music. Yeah. Well, that was that. It was kind of boomer shooter. It was all like Dusk. Whenever I played the demo they sent me, which was completely playable, felt like playing Dusk. The enemies were wacky and fun, and you had dash and movement and unique weapons. It's always such a shame, man. It happens. Whatever. That was really good. Thanks, man. Yeah, season 10. Oh, yeah, it did have kind of... I can see why you'd say that. 8, 9, and 10 all had that same kind of vibe. I was big on RVB back in the day. Well, they might be coming back. Bernie Burns owns Rooster Teeth again, and he owns Red vs. Blue, so he can do whatever he wants. Guess we'll probably be wrapping up the stream here in a minute, fellas. It's been really fun. This has been a good one. We've been hanging out, getting some good stuff in. I'll probably also stream again tomorrow night. I try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you haven't already, go like and leave a comment on that Jack 3 video. It's kind of tapering off. Would really help to get a boost in the algorithm on that. The Jack X video is dropping this coming Sunday. that would also be very helpful if you guys watched that when I dropped it. Paul Reed Smith guitar and a Friedman overdrive is my only chain into my amp. My favorite OD I've ever tried. Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I've showed it on stream before. I can show it again. This is my 8-string Schecter. And I plug straight into my computer. Space Hulk Games, Nerd a Big War. Oh, that'd be a good one. I can do a video on that. Crew had skeletons in their closet. The second that other company took over, they all left. Really? I didn't even know that. Well, Bernie owns it now. You'd buy that for $1? Yeah. Yeah, guys. I think we're getting close to wrapping it up. Again, as always, thanks for tuning in. It's always, at this point, I really only go live because I know you guys are going to show up and it's going to be the same crew hanging out. It's always just me and 5 or 10 of the same people tuning in to hang out. But hey, we all get along. It's always really fun. You're my boys. You can talk about what I'm working on. I got, after Jack 3 and Jack X, we're doing the Star Wars Starfighter and the Jedi Starfighter video combined into one with a little bit of context in between, just to give me a buffer to give me time to make the Lost Frontier video. And then after that, we're moving on to a new series. The most liked comment on that Jack 3 vid, not sure if leaving another one would do anything. I'll try applying some other play. No, that won't help. I mean, if you want to, but if you've already left a comment, you're good. And yeah, if you already dropped one, that's fine. But I do appreciate your willingness to do that. Jack made me think of a hulking, stomping, weighty, armored footsteps. Yeah, it does have some Space Marine vibes. Great to actually catch you. I see when you're live, but I'm usually still working. Really? Yeah, man. It's. I think I saw you posting on Twitter like last week, and I was like, hey, it's my boy. We haven't talked in a while. If you sub me on Discord, hit me up sometime, man. See you next time, buddy. Have a good one. Yeah, dude. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'm excited. Should be live again tomorrow night unless something funny happens. And Jack X coming soon. Everybody take care, and I will see you on the next live stream.